Hello, my name is David Edmondson, and this is the third of the Research Methods Unit pre-unit briefings. This one's on research ethics and governance. Just to remind each other, this is only an introductory briefing to get us started, so it's very quick and it's very short. Full details will be provided within the unit, and there'll be plenty of opportunity during the face-to-face sessions to look at research ethics and governance in more detail. We'll also be encouraging you to have discussions with your research supervisor. Part of the remit of the supervisor will be to advise, support and monitor your research, particularly in terms of your adherence to research ethics and governance. Remember, you're responsible for your own work and you must get ethical clearance in writing for your planned research project prior to the commencement of any field-based research activity. But be assured there will be sufficient time and help and guidance to ensure that you meet all the ethical requirements of a small-scale study. What do we mean by research ethics? Well, useful pointers provided by the Department of Health's Research Governance Framework for Health and Social Care, which talks about the dignity, rights, safety and well-being of participants being the primary consideration in any research study. And our expectation is that we would see those principles reflected and reported in your research proposal and also in your dissertation work. And they should be the guiding principles for your day-to-day research activity. So, at this point, we're still thinking about research ideas and dreaming up proposals and potential projects. So what do we need to be thinking about in terms of research ethics and governance in this respect? Well, we need to be thinking about how we would ensure that we provide and meet informed consent requirements and also maintain confidentiality and anonymity in our research. We need to be thinking about how we might demonstrate honesty and transparency in our work. That's something we'll talk about more during our face-to-face sessions. We need to carefully assess our proposed research project, particularly in terms of any activities which may potentially distress and harm participants, and assess any potential legacy for participants, or sometimes called uncalled for self-knowledge, and how this might be addressed, or better still avoided. The other aspect of research ethics relates to governance frameworks and requirements. And we need to very, very carefully assess how we might meet all the necessary committees, requirements and procedures at a university, local and national level to ensure that we're working within an approved ethical framework. We need to particularly think about this in terms of the time that we've got available for our research project. And relating back to the other podcasts, if you remember, we talked about thinking about ethics and the viability of any potential project. So, where and when does research ethics come into play? Well, as social work professionals in training, you're expected to be interested and vigilant in your commitment to ethics and ethical practice, and so it shouldn't come as any mystery or surprise that ethics and ethical governance is a key part of social work research. And all research, whether it's field-based or desk-based, does involve consideration of ethics and ethical procedures. So don't fall into the trap of thinking, yes, I'll do some desk-based research and blandly write a two-line statement saying there are no ethical issues here for me to consider, because that's not the case. There may be different forms of ethics and different emphasis to be placed on ethical requirements, but every piece of research does involve consideration of ethics. Okay. Where will you be asked to evidence and demonstrate how you've considered, managed and met ethical requirements? Well, certainly in the course of planning your research and during discussions with your research supervisor or with us as the teaching team. So a good opportunity to discuss your ideas and thoughts. We'd expect to see it reflected in your research activities and actions, and also in ensuring that you meet all local and university research governance requirements and procedures. And of course, that ought to be reported in your assignment, your proposal, and particularly in your dissertation. Too many students really minimise or don't place enough emphasis on the importance of research ethics or the work that they've carefully considered in producing a particular research project. And it's a lost opportunity if you're not reporting on this in your dissertation. Okay, so those are just some pointers to get us started, get us into the framework of thinking about research ethics in a social work context. There are a number of useful sources and guidance. Three ones that you might find initially quite useful. There's an excellent web resource called the Research Ethics Guidebook, and there's the address for that you can have a look at. Lots of good ideas, exercises, and information sheets that you can draw on and use. There's the Joint University Council Social Work Ethics Committee Code of Practice, which is the Just Swec statement here on this particular website, which you can go and have a look at. And more recently, set up in 2009, there's the Social Care Research Ethics Committee, which is a national committee set up to help support the development and management of national social research projects in relation to social work and social care. So again, they're just beginning to start to produce useful information and guidance, but another good resource. So some things for you to look at in the meantime, and hopefully some things for you to be thinking about. Again, our principle is if we can make it work, we will make it work. However, we have to ensure that you do meet all the ethical requirements in your proposed project. So we look forward to hearing more about your ideas when we meet face to face. So in the meantime, take care and enjoy the nice weather. Bye.